Hi, and welcome to Conductor, where we are two sisters on a mission to amplify women's voices on the podium.
Join us as we interview leaders in the field of choral music, share resources, and build a community for current and future teacher conductors, all while exploring the gender divide. I'm Kira Starr.
And I'm McKenna Stenson, and we are Conductor. We are here at the Sheraton in Times Square, hanging out with the National Concert's founder and executive director, Matthew Workman, and we are just picking his brain a little bit about this fabulous organization and the amazing premiere and collaboration between composer, conductor teacher, Dr. Andrea Ramsey, and then conductor for this project, Dr. Kristina MacMullen. So we are just thrilled to be here.
I was wondering, before we ask you kind of these intro questions, could you just tell the listeners who you are, what your musical background is briefly, and then how you came to form National Concerts?
Sure. Well, let's see. How long do we have?
We have 3 hours.
So I grew up in Michigan. That's where I'm from. And it's funny because no one ever realizes that I'm actually not from New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that because I think it's an opportunity to relate to people when you're not from here and you're an implant and maybe you didn't grow up here, things like that. And I like to also quip that I have the Midwestern ethics with the East Coast savvy.
I love it.
Love it. We support that.
My musical career started back when I was in middle school.
Prime time.
Usually I only tell close friends and family. So I was a mischievous cellist in the middle school orchestra, and I was very social.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I still am.
Good.
And I did talk a little too much, and we had a very strict orchestra director, Mrs. Gold. God bless her. And one day, she sent me out into the hallway, and my heart fell in my stomach. And she came out. She was livid. She said, "If you keep talking, you should just do something else, join something else." And I just was moved, and I said, "Oh, okay, maybe I should." And so I joined choir.
Mm-hmm.
I joined choir, and I never looked back. And then, like a month later, the high school came to the middle school to sing for us. And they sang in Latin, and my mind was blown. Like, what? In another language? And so I knew from that point that I would continue on and sing in the high school. So I got to the high school, really, I had a passion for it. I didn't take private lessons until later in high school. And my high school director, Mr. Shepard, pulled me aside. Mark Shepard, and he's still singing. He's in Grand Rapids.
That's amazing.
He pulled me aside. He said, you should consider summer camp. And I said, okay. And so I auditioned for Interlochen, and I got in that summer.
That's not just any summer camp.
Yes.
I didn't realize
we both have been to Interlochen at various times. So, yeah.
So that it's just a beautiful setting. So I attended Interlochen for the following 3 years, and that's how I met Brian Goggle, one of my collaborators, and who I commissioned for the visuals, projection designs.
Cool. Amazing.
Attended college, Western Michigan, and
Go Broncos.
Go Bronx. Actually, was fun fact, I was the mascot.
No, you weren't.
I was Buster the Bronco. Yeah.
This is incredible.
I did.
I've never interviewed a mascot before.
So this also proves like you are social to a point that is exceptional.
Which is
like,
so
that's
interesting
amazing.
because the first time we spoke to you, you were very professional, and I felt reserved. And I was like, okay, Matt is an introvert. That's wonderful.
Put a mic in front of me, all of that goes out the window.
Yeah, right. That's interesting. I love it.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah. It's because I worked in the athletic department.
Okay.
And that kind of ties in. So I went into business and technology, information systems. I credit my parents. They really, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Encouraged you to be multifaceted?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You understand. But I continued to sing my entire college career. And I was the only non-music major in the chorale.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that was an honor. I didn't take it for granted. And then I've sung ever since.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have a beautiful speaking voice. I know it is also a beautiful singing voice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whenever you speak, I'm like, he's here.
Oh, please. Let's go to karaoke after this.
Singing. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And now, a quick word from our sponsors.
Conductor, 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 conductor. Hey everyone, come check out the newest collaborations with Conductor and Call Time Clothing. Shop the newest designs from your favorite female Conductor-owned clothing line, inspired by choir music education, made to order just for you. Get one of your own for $35 Canadian, or about $26 American, plus a flat rate shipping fee. Visit calltimeclothing.com today. Do you live near other conductors and want to save on shipping? Order multiple tees in one order so that you only pay one shipping fee. Visit calltimeclothing.com today or follow us on Instagram.
And we're back.
Yeah, moved to New York because when I was in college, we came out here and sang at Carnegie Hall.
Mm.
And that then led to where I am here, right? That was part of the path. Knew I wanted to move here. A close family friend lived here, and he actually got me some internships and helped me move here. I worked in pharmaceutical and IT, blah, 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 and then eventually I was invited to take over this position at another company, and that's how I got to start National Concerts.
Mm. Wow.
Back in 2018, I was living in Brooklyn, and we got this WeWork space, and it wasn't WeWork, it was I don't know, it was Green Space or something. And it was in this old Puck building, and they had on all different floors, different types of video shoots. Like an SNL, turns out, was shooting out of there. Oh. And I get in an elevator with one of my very first hires, and we get in together, and Ryan Reynolds pops in the elevator with us. Oh my God. So I'm just standing there, and she's like, she nudges me, and and I'm like, nope.
No response. Can't react.
You can't.
Nope.
And then we get to his floor, and he walks off, and door closes, and she just looks at me. She goes, "Do you know who that was?" I said, "Yeah." So that was a lot of fun being in that building, and fond memories because we really grew there, mm-hmm. and then we grew out of that building, mm-hmm. and I moved into the city, and we went from having 3 employees in that little WeWork to this beautiful corner office on Lexington and 52nd, and there was an open air office, and there were 6 of us there, and things. I mean, we had just finished our 2019 season. Mm-hmm. We were building our 2020 season, and everything filled, and we had some great commissions, some terrific conductors, and we know what happened, and then right. And so we were able to have one concert. And it was the last concert before Carnegie Hall closed. Oh. And it was because we were allowed to have that concert and that it happened that we were able to sustain ourselves.
Wow.
And then we went into a long, dark tunnel. But we actually, we applied and we got all the PPP loans, and I was able to keep my staff on as long as I could. And I gave them 100% of the money. And we didn't do much. We didn't have much to do, but they all went home to where they were from, mm-hmm. respectively. Everything in the office collected dust. Months later, I went in and started packing everything up, and I'll never forget that because I've just never had involuntary tears or ever like that, and that was a moment. But we came back, we bounced back, and we had an amazing 2022 season. That was the first season back. And then we grew each year. And here we are in 2025.
Crazy.
2025, and our biggest season yet. And we're kicking it off with one of the most exciting collaborations with this giant consortium with Andrea Ramsey. Oh.
Awesome. Great.
Mrs. Gold, thank you for encouraging
taking a young Matthew out of the cello section. We appreciate it.
Yes, this has led to a wonderful experience for all. Yeah, many, many others who have come to Carnegie Hall to have their very first experience in New York singing on that stage that is truly a life-changing opportunity. I mean, this is a business that changes lives in the most beautiful way.
That's honestly what propelled me to start National Concerts.
Great.
So you've already shared a little bit about the founding of National Concerts and this journey, and we got a little bit about the COVID times, and we can circle back to some of these things, but I want to uplift the mission of National Concerts because when I was learning about the organization, I think that your mission is particularly beautiful and relevant. And so part of it is to provide impactful performance opportunities for musicians, empowering them to reach their highest potential through innovative collaboration. And that's what we have just been witness to over this whole weekend. So we wanted to ask you, how did you develop this emphasis on collaboration? Why is it so important? And then we'll ask some follow-up questions from there about that.
Thanks. Yes. First, I need to credit my staff. It was at our last company retreat that we literally all came up with that together.
Cool.
We were at a table and we focused on what are the words that define us and how can we incorporate that into our mission statement. We did not use ChatGPT.
Incredible.
Yeah, very proud
Very
of that.
well written.
And when it all came together, we all had an aha moment. It was really special. Yeah.
Well, it caught my eye as soon as I went to the website. About when you are a teacher, having taught public school, sifting through different organizations, trying to figure out where am I going to put my funds, how am I going to get my students these experiences, that type of collaborative emphasis and the uplifting of artistry, what more could you want for people coming out to New York?
Precisely. And not to answer this or respond to this in a negative, but the reason for the collaborative part is because it's not about Carnegie Hall alone. It's about the experience and the opportunity to perform a world premiere, perhaps, and commission a composer. Or perhaps perform with visuals that bring the music to life, right? And that stems from wanting to really focus and think about the audience perspective, right?
Yes.
You can never neglect that. And conductors, teachers out there, that's, whether you want to or not, or have time to focus on that, or collaborate with other across artistic genres, perhaps dance. Or maybe you want to reach out to your band director and perform, collaborate in some way with them. There's all different ways. Bring in industry professionals, maybe reach out to some professionals in your region for lighting design, just to consider different aspects.
And now, a quick word from our sponsors.
Conductor, 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 conductor.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn Hagan, composer and founder of Compose Like a Girl, a choral series dedicated to empowering composers who identify as women through mentorship, publication, and promotion. With over 30 pieces in the series, with many different voicings, we're showcasing fresh, compelling music like Womankind by Emily Drum, The Infinity of Space by Ritika Bhattacharjee, and When I Become an Old Woman by Sherry Blevins. Explore the catalog at jocelynhagan.com/composelikeagirl and graphitepublishing.com.
And we're back.
I think has become more prominent, and that's something that we are really big believers in, is innovation in the concert experience and thinking about not only the singer's experience within a concert setting, but also the audience members. I'll never forget my first high school choral concert as a teacher. A dad came up to me at the end and said, "Well, that was the least boring choir concert I've ever been to." It's like,
that's a great,
fantastic.
Keep coming back. It only will get better.
And I was like, you know what? This one is for the dads out there, because I'm sure you've been to a million where people just stand up there and sing, and that's so boring. It could be so much more. And I remember as a high school student, speaking of Interlochen and thinking about your collaboration with your incredible visual artist, as a high school student, I took AP Visual Art, and I was also the lead in a bunch of straight plays. Like, I did acting, singing, visual art, and I loved all of them. And I remember feeling stifled to choose one. And I did. I picked music, and I have no regrets. It's my career. It's how I live my life and make money. And I love it, and I love my students. But anytime that I can give that chance for a student to be interdisciplinary and to invite other people to showcase those talents, it's so rewarding. And I want them to think, okay, how can I be a comprehensive artist? And what does that look like? And how is it a strength for me? Like, it's a strength that I can design an amazing poster and program. And I do that now every day. So yeah, I love that.
You're exactly right. I mean, you think about so many high school directors out there, they're running a business, right? You have to sell tickets, you have to fundraise, and you know what? You kind of do have to provide these types of opportunities. I believe deeply in travel, right? Travel with your ensemble. And if you, whether you go across town or out of state or, bus somewhere, but get on a plane, fly to New York, fly to Orlando, and, and then why not come to Carnegie Hall or somewhere else and be part of something larger that you may not have the means to do yourself at home. And that's also part of that collaborative ingredient.
And we're seeing it in full form here with this specific project in the Wilderness of You, because it is groups coming from all over. It's different stakeholders who've invested at different levels. Some are not here in New York for the premiere, but will be performing this work at a later date. And then seeing the collaboration between the students, and then the students and the conductor, and then the conductor and the composer, and the composer and the students, this whole cycle, and then strings and wah-wah tubes, who would have thought? It's really just beautiful to see not only just the exterior of, okay, there are visual designs and there's, these components that come to the Carnegie Hall stage, but like you're saying, this is a through line that we're witnessing in the organization, which it is making lasting impacts. Talking to some of the students, some of them are saying, I've never thought about composing before, but now after talking to Dr. Ramsey, I think that could be something in my future. Or, wow, Dr. MacMullen is the best conductor I've ever seen. Now I think maybe I want to pursue that art and, like we said, changing lives, and not just through the stage, but through the process.
Right. And helping them to find their voice and their path, right? Because you never know.
You don't.
You never know. And I'm glad you were able to speak to some students, because that's sometimes my favorite part of it. It just gives you hope and inspiration.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
In a time when we need it. So let's bring it back a little bit to the specific work of this week, which is The Wilderness of You. Could you tell us and our listeners a little bit about the process behind the commissioning of this piece? What did that look like, and what was your role in terms of organizing this concept?
Thanks. Well, first of all, I would encourage everyone out there to commission, support living artists, and let's bring some new work to life. This project is it's a follow-up to Suffrage Cantata, which we facilitated the consortium for. And I was honored that Dr. Ramsey circled back and said, I have something that I'm thinking about. And I was all in, 100%. And we have some terrific members of this consortium, a few of which brought singers to be part of this. And so it was a matter of capturing her vision and somehow representing that when you reach out to someone with an offer to be part of this consortium. Of course, you want to know, okay, what kind of voicing? Is there DVC? Can I tackle this with the forces that I have in my chorus or not? What does the orchestration look like? Is there a piano version? All of these.
All the questions.
So you capture all of that, and you come up with opportunities for organizations or schools to be part of that membership and help support Andrea in writing something like this. Because you have to remember, to write a multi-movement work with instrumentation, and listen, she did it in under a year, right?
That's mind-blowing.
With all the other commissions that she has.
Right.
Yeah.
And now, a quick word from our sponsors.
Conductor, 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 conductor.
The Conductor Choral Series, powered by Music Spoke, is an intentional platform that highlights the voices of women and their allies in the choral music world. This series is designed to elevate and celebrate the contributions of women throughout history, as well as those currently shaping the music scene. Its name, Conductor, intertwines the role of a conductor with the concept of empowerment and the recognition of women in music, a field where their contributions have often been overlooked or underrepresented.
The series serves as a celebration of diverse women's voices, composers, conductors, singers, and advocates, by providing access to choral works that reflect their unique perspectives, creativity, and experiences. Through this collection, Music Spoke gives both emerging and established composers the opportunity to share their voices with the choral community, providing a sense of inclusivity, visibility, and accessibility to repertoire. Check out the Conduct Her Choral Series today for your next concert.
Do, do, do.
And we're back.
So she's a rock star. She's taking her time, and this is her livelihood. This is her living.
Correct.
This is her living. So this isn't, what can we figure out how much to pay her to write this particular thing for a project? No, this is, let's really breathe life into this project. Let's find some people that are passionate about it and bring them in. And yes, there is a financial component too. But at the end of the day, it's about supporting her as an artist and bringing this project to life. And oh my gosh, you were there for the first rehearsal.
Yes.
Wow. That's a good example of when everyone comes prepared, musically prepared. It
Makes such a difference.
It does. For them as the singers, you heard that. I mean, they came together as one ensemble within, I don't know, 10 minutes.
Right.
Right?
It was immediate.
And they're out of their music.
Right.
I mean, they haven't even performed this yet, and they're out of their music, and Dr. MacMullen has them in the palm of their hands. It just sets up a wonderful opportunity to go beyond the score and really stretch them and just present something, beautiful in that hall.
And it's amazing to, come to New York and get to do, Bruckner, or to do something by Haydn or something by Mozart. It is amazing to do something that's canonic, that is a gem, to uplift that experience. And this type of opportunity is really unique to me, because not only is National Concerts facilitating this type of new work, seeing the importance and the value of this experience for the people who come or get involved with, one of the membership options. Yeah. But this is going to go out into the world and be something that is a living, breathing contribution to our 21st century Western canon. And that is so cool. As somebody that's involved with education at different levels, to tell my choral method students, be on the lookout for this amazing work. You could do all 25 minutes, or you could excerpt one movement of it. And there will now be resources online where you can go and find them. And I think that in an organization, again, this mission of collaboration, it's not just within National Concerts or for the people that are coming to New York or involved with their name on the score. It's really contributing to the greater good that is art in our world. Yeah. And that is so rare and so exciting. So from the moment we found out about this collaboration, we've just been so you couldn't see I was doing weird jazz hands, but really excited to see the beautiful streamline and through line of promotion of great music making in all the ways. So
absolutely. And I don't know if you were there when the instrumentalists came in midway through the rehearsal, but they love this piece. They love this work. And even that section where the second violins, where they make the sound of the biome, the gurgling. It's just it's great. And that's another aspect of collaboration, being able to bring on just top-notch players to give the singers an opportunity to have them. Do you see some of their eyes?
Oh my gosh.
I think I heard some audible gasps. Yeah.
And you really have a dynamic duo in the room between Dr. Ramsey and Dr. MacMullen. So you've talked a little bit about how there was this idea and how amazing to help it bring that idea to life. So then you have this fabulous conductor as well. Can you talk a little bit about that process?
Well, I mean, it would help if she was a little nicer.
Oh my gosh.
I've just really, really enjoyed collaborating with Dr. MacMullen. She's extremely thoughtful, considerate. She's just very nice. She reminds me of something a friend told me early on when I first moved to New York. One of the ingredients of success is just be nice. And, it's such a simple concept, but it really is true. Be a good person. She's the epitome of that. I just really appreciate how much buy-in the students have with her. You can tell by how her students respond, and the rest of the chorus, all these other university choirs that are joining, are just they're there with her too. I can imagine for a composer to hand this work over to someone, right? Well, they have a long-time friendship. Kristina is just a terrific artist, musician. And so to hand it over, I'm sure was quite easy for Andrea to do.
We'll tune into the last episode, Conductor fans, to hear a little bit more about that relationship, because it's Very, very cool.
Very fun.
I have a question for you.
Oh.
Which movement would you excerpt?
Oh my gosh.
For me, brain, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to say something different just because you said brain. I love brain. I think it's so excertable. I think it would be perfect in a variety of concert formats. I think breath is also enchanting, and I could see...
That'd be a nice pair.
Yeah. And I really think you could take a couple of the movements, like you could take brain, breath, and being, if you weren't ready to experience the gurgling of the biome yet, you know, if you wanted to get your students sort of like dipping their toe in. But I really think this work in fruition is going to be so impactful and so cool that these movements can also stand alone.
Yes. Yeah.
Because that is not something that every large work has the capacity to do.
Yeah.
Piano reduction or strings. Accessible instrumentation so that most players can experience it. I mean, it hits all the boxes.
Absolutely.
So.
It was interesting talking to both students who are singing the work and then Dr. MacMullen and Dr. Ramsey today about the concept of this piece and kind of the concept of being comfortable in one's body. And we had some great discussion as women about the, difficulties of self-acceptance and self-love and feeling comfortable in your body as it grows and changes throughout your life. And Andrea Ramsey was saying how that was sort of on her mind as she was composing this piece, and how it's been a journey for her, and it's been really healing to kind of write this. And National Concerts has a history specifically of uplifting women. You featured a lot of composers. Yes,
we were stalking your website for months.
Putting our fists in the air. You've had a lot of women composers and conductors like Andrea Ramsey, Kristina MacMullen, Sandra Snow, and Andrea Clearfield.
And now, a quick word from our sponsors.
Conductor, 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 conductor.
Hey, Kira.
Hey, McKenna.
You know what choral directors are always looking for?
What?
Well, as choral directors, we are always looking for new pieces to program for our upcoming concerts. And Pavon Publishing is proud to have some outstanding women composers and conductors in its catalog.
Wow, what are some of the new releases?
Well, let me tell you. Canto e Liberta by Diana Saez and Suzette Ortiz for treble voices, piano, and percussion. It was premiered under the direction of Dr. Iris Levine from Conductor Season 1 and is in her Pavon Treble Choral series.
Ukrainian composer Irina Alexichuk's Holy Lord of Hosts is stunning and was premiered in the U.S. by Grant Gershon and the LA Master Chorale. Grant has launched his new series with Pavon in support of this remarkable composer.
Zenaida Robles, one of the most sought-after female writers, will have her latest composition, The Summit is Nigh, premiered at the ACDA National Convention in Dallas this March. Again, a Conductor Season 2 interviewee.
Janaea Robison, conductor of the Lutheran National Choir, has two new offerings: an SATB voicing of her successful setting of I Wonder as I Wander, and new editions of Bach's cantata BWV 118, with alternative lyrics that enables performances from Advent and Christmas to Palm Sunday and Easter. Check out Pavon Publishing today at pavonpublishing.com.
And we're back.
Can you speak to the importance of amplifying women's voices in the field of choral music specifically?
I would start with look at the history, and that's an easy place to start. I think having representation is important, and I can expand on all of that. But I think that's really sums up my answer. This is not to go too far down a road, but this day and age seems to be divisive times. And topics are made to be political when sometimes or oftentimes they shouldn't be. And I think this falls under representation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, yes, there's also perspective. I'm not a woman. I've never, I don't identify as a woman, and I don't walk in the shoes of a woman, just as I don't walk in the shoes of someone from a different country. I have a limited perspective. So that's why, for me, it's about bringing others to the table or including others. You don't have their perspective. You're not in their shoes. That's something my dad taught me.
Is there anything else in our final, main portion of the interview that you would like to uplift about National Concerts, and maybe why people might want to get involved with a project or a consortium, or any of the other unique benefits about National Concerts and your amazing team?
Well, thanks for that. And I appreciate the opportunity for this interview. Unrelated to national concerts, what I would like to say is during the pandemic, I had an amazing opportunity to help produce a documentary called Choral Singing in America. And I'm so very proud of it. The filmmaker is Brian Gaukel, one of my close collaborators and projection designer. And we had a wonderful artistic team, and including Jerry Blackstone, Emily Ellsworth. And then we put together a board of top conductors, composers across the country. And they helped guide us along the way. This was a difficult time during the pandemic when the interviewing and getting footage was a challenge. We are just about to clear the rights for the very last piece that appears in this film. And so now the next step that we're working on is getting it into households across country. We've been going through private screenings, and that's been wonderful. We've been able to show it at ACDA regional conferences to great audiences, and it was very well received. So choralsinging.org, I really hope, I believe deeply in it, very proud of it. I hope everyone will watch it. It's still, I can't watch it without it bringing tears. So just know that it's deep. Yeah, but it's very important to us about national concerts. I'm so proud of my staff and what we're doing, because I've always said as long as we focus on the singer's experience, right? Everything centers around that decision making. What we include, then everything is going to be just fine.
Right.
So,
isn't that true for teaching and conducting as well?
Yeah. Well, we have a fun little group of closing questions if you are open to that.
Oh, like a hot seat?
A little bit.
Oh, I like it. Okay.
All right. Question 1. What is one of the best but most underrated things to do in the Big Apple?
Oh, the Tenement Museum.
Oh,
hands down. Yeah, a guided tour of the Tenement Museum down in the Lower East Side.
Okay.
It takes you through a tenement building that is untouched, right? They did a little bit of restoration to what it was like back in the 1800s.
Wow.
And they trace back to the exact family that lived there, and they tell the family story. And it's just eye-opening, and it's really, really interesting. Yeah.
Cool. The Tenement Museum, everyone, go check it out. Our second question is, what is one word to describe yourself as a musical entrepreneur?
A connector.
Oh, good word.
We haven't had that one yet, I don't think.
Great.
Bringing people together. I love that. I love doing that.
Yeah. Well, you could see it. Your eyes lit up in the first moments of the rehearsal too. And it's like that moment where you're like, everyone got on the bus. Everybody made it from Queens. Everybody got on the plane. Like all of the people are in the room, and now it's happening. And that's the best feeling in the whole world. So you could see the excitement in your eyes on all levels of like relief, and also just like, here it is. Here's the moment we've been waiting for.
Yes. And gratitude.
Absolutely.
And then what is a favorite musical moment that you'd be willing to share? This can be in your role at national concerts or just for you as a musician, either way.
Two pop into my head right away. The first goes back to Interlochen, when we had our final concert of that first summer, and I was singing at a level that I hadn't previously experienced, right? At that young age of, 16.
In the socks.
Right.
The socks were there, right?
Sorry?
The like high socks.
The blue socks.
The blue socks.
Well, I didn't pull my socks up. That wasn't cool back then.
It's still not.
But yes,
people are offended. They love their socks.
Sorry, Interlochen students wear your socks.
I also wear high socks. So whatever.
I know you did.
Tangent.
Hilarious. And so that final performance, knowing that my parents were out in the audience, I was just like beaming, right? And then the other one that I think of was when I had this solo. It was just like one line. I think it was from Witness, and that was in college. And I just, I was never the one to go after a solo. I prefer choral singing, right? Just let me sing in that tenor section. Unfortunately, I'm baritone.
I was going to say there are a few issues we could unpack with that, but that's fine.
Yeah, I'm still working out in therapy. But yeah, that solo, I was just so proud.
Oh, well, it's been such a joy to talk with you and to learn a little bit about this organization and talk about this new piece, The Wilderness of You. And we're just so grateful to be here and be part of this journey and document some things that are going on here.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. This was a lot of fun, and we'll see you at the concert
That's
tomorrow.
right. Tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. This has been Conductor.
This episode was engineered and mixed by Mary Hannah Klontz, with intro and outro music by Flo Garut and ad music by Kate Krellin.
Discover more resources at conductor.com.